puts the evidence under the microscope.
The probability of this being a hoax is almost non-existent.
Launching a dangerous search for proof.
This defies everything that everyone else has reported for 41 years.
All to find out if Sasquatch lives.
Yeah, a little thicker than we were expecting.
Witnesses around the world report seeing monsters. Are they real or imaginary? Science searches for answers on Monster Quest. The accounts of an elusive and fearsome monster known as Sasquatch have persisted for centuries. They come from every corner of the country. The reports have unearthed a wealth of evidence, from tracks to physical clues, like images of the beast. This special Monster Quest investigation will analyze the most compelling evidence for the beast's existence.
It was a black and brownish color.
This thing was huge, 8-9 feet tall.
It had to be about at least over 400 pounds.
It actually struck me as being like a great ape of some kind.
Eyewitnesses describe a dark, hairy creature standing on 2 feet. It is said to be 7 to 10 feet tall and weigh nearly 400 pounds. The beast is known to beat his chest with powerful arms and emit blood-curdling screams.
When it happens to you, you'll know.
Jim Hebert and his family were on vacation when they saw something that would change their lives forever.
I screamed out, "What in the heck is that?" And the family didn't know what I was talking about.
And everybody just kind of turned to where he was pointing.
In a clearing 60 feet from their location, they saw a large, frightening creature staring back at them.
When it popped its head up, it actually struck me as being like a great ape of some kind.
It was real big, real tall.
We were freaked out. I mean, we were all just stunned. I still remember what I said. I said, "Do you realize we've seen a Sasquatch?" And my wife said, "Yeah, I guess we did, didn't we?"
I believe for sure that, Sasquatch is out there.
In the last 40 years, there have been more than 2,500 reported Sasquatch sightings, yet many scientists doubt their existence.
There is no good evidence, in my opinion, for the existence of Bigfoot.
Dr. David Began, a paleoanthropologist at the University of Toronto in Canada, has been studying ape and human skeletons for over 25 years.
We don't have anything against the idea of Bigfoot, and we even have fossils that tell us that there was something this size that existed only a few 100,000 years ago. So there's no predisposition to rejecting the idea out of hand. It's just that as scientists, we require reliable, reproducible evidence that's convincing, and that just doesn't exist right now.
Among the best evidence available, the controversial Freeman footage recorded in the Blue Mountains, Washington in 1994.
Oh, there he goes.
The cripple foot tracks discovered in 1969 and the mid-tarsal break, a unique characteristic of many tracks found in recent years. The science team will also map the Bigfoot sightings of the last 40 years as they examine the long-held belief that areas of large rainfall would be the best habitat for a large primate to exist. And they'll look at the most famous evidence of all, the 1967 recordings of what is known simply as the Patterson-Gimlin film. The team will re-examine it with the latest technology in an attempt to try to determine its authenticity. The film was shot by Roger Patterson and witnessed by Bob Gimlin. It shows a figure walking near a creek in Northern California. The film has sparked debate since its unveiling. Some say it couldn't be a hoax.
Either it was masterfully tailored, or it's simply not fur cloth at all.
Bill Munns has built representations of prehistoric animals for museums around the world. He's also created monsters for Hollywood hits including Swamp Thing and return of the living dead.
That's positioned me, I think, in a very, very good way to look at the Patterson film and make some type of an analysis of whether or not what we're seeing in the film is in fact a creature or a person who is actually wearing a suit.
Munns will focus on the height of the creature, its body proportion, and the shape of its head. This should allow him to determine if what was captured on film was human or not. He begins by attempting to establish the creature's height using an optical formula.
The basis of the formula is that there is a ratio between image height, focal length, actual height, camera distance. If you know 3 numbers, you can solve for the 4th number.
Munsterquest has provided high-resolution images of the original film to Munns. He uses the measurements taken at the scene shortly after the event.
So we are using 3 known numbers that are reported. One is first the actual height of the figure seen in the film. The second would be the reported lens on the camera. Third is the reported distance of camera to subject. Those 3 numbers allow us to solve the 4th, which is the height of the actual figure being photographed.
Munns begins his initial calculations on the film.
Interesting. We have something that is only 4.579 feet tall. Seems rather short.
He immediately questions the results. The formula indicates that one or more of the measurements taken back in the 1960s was recorded incorrectly.
Ideally, we should attempt to go to the location itself, see what is still standing, take measurements ourselves.
The Munsterquest expedition team will travel to the site where the original film was recorded, Bluff Creek, California. It is an elevated area of the Six Rivers National Park in Northern California, just 50 miles from the town of Willow Creek. The team will use a 3D high-definition scanning station to create a digital replica for testing.
Primary purpose of the trip, of course, is to find something we can reliably say is the environment so that we can derive digital measurements from it.
Doug Devine, a measurements expert, will lead the team.
It'll be really mind-boggling. It's going to be something that no one's ever seen before, and it'll give all of the old information just a whole new aspect. It'll be pretty amazing.
To expedite the process, the team will attempt to access the Patterson site by helicopter.
It's dangerous, and flying these light helicopters in those canyons, the canyons are so steep, it creates a lot of crazy winds up in there.
James Fay, the team's guide, has been to the site with Bob Gimlin, who was there the day the creature was first filmed.
I'm just going to point him out where he said he was, where Roger was, where Roger ran, and while he was filming, and where the creature was in relation to where it was, so they can get some measurements.
The conditions aren't cooperating.
Weather's supposed to be pretty savage coming up here. It's a big storm coming in. It's a real storm coming in.
If it gets up into that 40-mile-an-hour range, I'm probably going to abort the mission. Okay, that's just the way it is. So in a case of an emergency and we got to set down and it's fast or a hard landing, know that when you evacuate the helicopter, you've got to pull that lever up past 90 degrees, otherwise it won't let you release.
The team ascends quickly to 2,500 feet and realizes they are facing another challenge.
I mean, look at the amount of snow we've got here at this elevation, and we're not even close to the zone yet.
Munsterquest is conducting a special investigation examining the best evidence to date of the existence of Sasquatch. After 40 years, the famed Patterson-Gimlin footage captured in Bluff Creek, California may still be the best evidence of the existence of the beast. The debate about its authenticity, however, rages on.
I believe about 99.9% that this is a real film of a real creature.
Author David Murphy has spent the past 11 years writing a biography of Roger Patterson, the man who shot the supposed Sasquatch film.
I've interviewed over 70 people that either had some acquaintance, whether they were friends or associates with Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, and I've yet to find one person that didn't think highly of both individuals.
He also says Patterson not only took, but passed a polygraph examination.
According to National Wildlife Magazine, the article written by George Harrison in 1970, editor of the magazine Dick Kirkpatrick basically contacted